Matthew chapter number 26, verses number 6 and 7. Now when Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. This story of the alabaster box is an interesting story, but because we can see all four of the Gospels contained someone that had an alabaster box and anointed the Master. We can take a look at verse number 6, and we can clearly see where Jesus was in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper. If we go over to Mark's story flows with Matthew's story, and being verse number 3 of chapter number 14, and being in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at meat, there came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment. So those stories start out and they flow the same. And once again, this is right before he's getting ready to ride into Jerusalem for the last time before the crucifixion. But if we come over to John has then took Mary and poured an ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus. So John has Mary, the sister of Lazarus, whom Jesus raised from the dead, and they was at Lazarus' house anointing Jesus, which is different. And we have a completely separate event. The events in Luke chapter number 7, starting with verse number 36. This is at the house of one Simon, a Pharisee. And this was a much earlier period. Some suggest a year earlier or sometime, but this was not near the crucifixion. So this event in Luke is definitely a completely separate event from the ones in the rest of the Gospels. So we can take a look at this, and let's take a look at an alabaster box. What was an alabaster box? A white or marble colored box that was sealed so it can contain precious spices, and the seal was so that they could stay fresh. They were a very costly fragrance. Some people estimate maybe even a year's worth of wage. And this anointing of the Messiah's feet with this was a very special event to all of these women, whichever one came at whatever time. This was something special to them. They brought God their best. Like God commanded, bring him the first fruit of your offering. God gives us his best. He wants us to give him our best. Everyone may not be able to do the exact same thing, but whatever you are able to do for the Lord, do that at your best. God, we bless you and we thank you. We reverence you, our Father. Be glory and be magnified.